friends. Hey, everyone. I'm Anna Morgan, your career BFF, host of the first ever Evolve TA and HR experience on my birthday, January 30th, here in Atlanta, Georgia. So, we're doing all these super fun lives to celebrate this event. And I am specifically excited to highlight some of the speakers that have been joining me. And today, one of the greatest blessings in my life so far in 2025 is the amazing Kathy Love, who is the author of a fantastic workbook and book, as well as the coloring book. More to come on that, called Get Your Self-Care Beep Together. So welcome to the stage, Kathy.
Thank you. Hi, Anna. I loved that little intro that you put together. That was so cool.
I can't take credit. Shout out to Mimi, my VA, who does all my graphics for me and is amazing. So,
well, it's high energy, just like you. So I loved it.
Thank you. Yes, that is the energy that we are bringing to Atlanta. So even though you brought the cold weather with you recently, it's going to be beautiful in a short 2 weeks.
Yeah. I'll be there in 2 weeks. Yeah, I'll be there 2 weeks from today.
That's crazy. Awesome. And Kathy is the community manager of the Outlier Project. If you're not familiar with the Outlier Project, you need to be. I have been a founding member and I'm one of their talent advisors in the community. And it is a game-changing, life-changing community with the premise that we all can be ordinary, but we can choose to be extraordinary. And it's people like Kathy and those in the Outlier community that just inspire me every day to be the highest version of myself. And, part of that is also focused around self-care. And you and I share a mutual passion for that, as well as, finding our way back to our mat and being yogis, all kinds of good stuff. So I'm so grateful you're coming back to Atlanta, and you're going to be doing your own segment for all the TA and HR leaders. So I'm excited to learn more and want to know from you, what you're most excited about coming to Evolve.
Well, I am most excited to feel the energy that you bring.
Yay!
I just think that this event is going to be so much fun. And I've learned so much about that space from you've offered so much to the Outlier Project, our community, in your advising our members on talent acquisition and HR topics. That I've learned a lot about that from you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to see this all come to life. The planning and the conversations and the ideas that I just keep seeing, and the people I've been connecting with, other speakers that you have lined up for that day. And so that's, other than your energy, I'm definitely looking forward to meeting all of them in person.
It's going to be so good. Hey, Chasen. Hey, Yarrow. Thank you for being here. Please share that we're live. We have been taking fast, messy action, going live. And I attended the Outlier Project retreat back in October. And y'all, this event wasn't even on the brain. But after I left the Outlier Project retreat, I was like, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to do something crazy in true Outlier energy. And, I think the motivation behind it selfishly was like, what could I do to bring all my business BFFs in town for business and learning and career development, but then also stayed to celebrate my 50th birthday party.
Yeah, it is going to be a big celebration.
I think so, if I don't completely wear everyone out during the day. So Jason is here. Thank you so much for being here. It's going to be a great time.
We have outliers, people, members from the Outlier Project who will be there also. That might be my other the other biggest thing I'm excited about.
Well, and Scott McGregor, co-founder of or founder of the Outlier Project, has graciously offered to be a sponsor and to give away a year membership. So don't let me forget about that the day of. I'm going to make sure I add it into the agenda as well. So, if you want to surround yourself with the top dogs and the winners, definitely check out the Outlier Project. And Kathy is a fierce, power behind all the things that happen in that community. So thank you for all the work that you do behind the scenes. You're always like, Anna, I'm so impressed with you. And I'm like, Kathy, I'm even more impressed with you.
Well, I always say it's Scott's ideas and I'm like the hand. Scott thinks of the ideas and then I make them happen. And now Jason is a big part of making that happen too.
Oh my gosh. Shout out to Jason. The new Outlier Project website is incredible. Jason, why don't you drop that in the comments so we can amplify your amazing work? He and I had a little huddle up and I was like, I'm going to surrender my website to you. Thank you very much. So
no, yeah, he really did. And he actually worked on my self-care. Am I not allowed to say SHIT on LinkedIn?
Hell yeah, we're going to say shit.
Yeah. All right.
Here
so
on LinkedIn.
Jason not worked on it. Jason created my selfcareshit.com, which was it was outside of my comfort zone. And he really helped me embrace my message and my brand in a way that totally made sense for me, that I was just resisting a little bit. And those are the types of things, those are the types of self-care that I like to talk about with people, is being able to be your true self and not be afraid of judgment, being able to try different things and just trusting that it's going to work out, things like that. And Jason was a great coach.
Awesome.
And we all need a coach. I believe we all need a coach.
I have like all the coaches, literally like half of the speakers that are coming to Evolve have been my coaches. You said that's you awesome. Loved Tammy, and she really helped me work on my confidence and really balancing my energy and receiving. I have a tough time letting people kind of in and love on me and accept that I am doing these big outlier fun things. But let me tell you even more how awesome Jason is. Jason surprised me with an early Christmas gift after doing a little website audit. And he gifted me a new URL that is yourcareerbff.com, because my URL was AnnaMorganCareerBFF.com. It's very long. And I was so blown away. Just one of those like heart exploding, holy shit, thoughtful things. So thank you again, Jason. Can't wait to get that up and running and, see what we can do. That's just what outliers do.
That was a great gift idea. I loved that. I love that he did that.
I mean, I was blown away. Yeah. And I love that you're talking about, being ourselves, being authentic, pushing through, those uncomfortable moments in vulnerability, right? Like somebody asked me how I was doing. And I was like, I vacillate between being really excited and in this creative flow and then wanting to hide under my covers and be like, nobody loves me. They're not coming to my party. It's honest truth.
Well, yeah, I get that. And I think, that is like just saying that's the honest truth is that's self-care and not just beating yourself up for the moments when you're not feeling so good.
Yeah.
And that's real life. It's great things. It's not so great things. It's really bad. It's all of it.
Yeah. So anyway, our other mutual friend, Rachel Druckenmiller's song Believe in You literally has been on repeat every single day because I am absolutely borrowing all of you all's belief in me
Yeah.
that this is going to be a smashing success because for some reason, you're like, I'm scared. But I'm also like, I have this deep knowing that this is going to be the best thing I do all year long. So,
We have
uh,
no doubt in you, Anna, and
oh,
everybody else who's coming up to support you and make this happen, and the people who are going to be there. Um,
yeah.
all of it. There's no doubt
I'm going to
about
be
it.
doing some more recruiting to get some additional outliers in the house. I'm like, who's in Chattanooga? Who's in Asheville?
Right.
Who's
Well, I
in
know,
drivable
yeah,
distance?
I know some people are flying in. I know a few people who are flying in, so it may not
Awesome.
even be that they're within driving distance, but
All right, perfect. Well, grab your ticket to Evolve. You can use coupon code CareerBFF, which is a little bit of a deeper discount than the coupon code that you have, Kathy. Sorry about that. Again, my heart is to give, right? And I'm like, all I want for my birthday is to fill this room. So we are going to make it happen. But I want to go back. You and I have had a million conversations over text and Zoom and advising sessions, but I don't think I've ever had a chance to really, dive in more about your history, where you've been, what you've done. How did you come about creating? It was like all of a sudden Kathy has a book, and I knew that you had done a TED Talk previously and uh, are aspiring to do more big talks on bigger stages in the future. So, with that, like, how did my self care shit come about?
it came about because it was something that I really needed when I was going through figuring myself out, figuring out
Mm,
what self care meant to me, because I really didn't know the answer to that.
mm,
My first TED Talk was done 11 years ago, almost 11 years ago. And that was
wow.
when my entire life as I knew it changed.
Mm,
And it it really did force me to look at everything in my life, reevaluate, and notice that a lot of what was happening in my life, like all of what was happening in my life, was because of me. It was the choices I
mm,
was making. It was the way I believed things to be. It was the people I was in relationships with and allowing certain things. I had no boundaries whatsoever. Um, and
boundaries.
all, yeah,
Mm.
and all of those things contributed to it. So when I got to the point where I knew that it was self-care or, continued disaster for me, I had to Google it and figure out what it meant. I did not know what self-care was.
Well,
Um,
and I don't think people were talking about self care like they are today, um, 11 years ago. And, you were on the TED Talk stage before it was really everybody was, competing for those spots. So, I mean, I think that's huge. Golly, now you have me thinking back. I mean, I guess my exposure with like self care ties into my journey with addiction and to alcohol and what I picked up, through
yes.
being abstinence from alcohol was those tools around self care, which was, I picked up my me time, which is meditation and exercise. I, you know, uh, was able to start journaling, which was very difficult for me to let the deep dark secrets come out of my head onto a piece of paper, but then also a practice of gratitude, and daily meditations to just really ground myself and take a moment to be grateful. I mean, today you're managing a lot, and I know that just from behind the scenes. Like, what are your go-to tools in your tool belt that really help keep you grounded and smiling and sane and able to maintain your serenity day by day?
It is by far and absolutely my breath, using my breath and staying present.
Okay.
So you know what I'm doing behind the scenes for the Outlier Project, but as a friend, you also know what I'm dealing with behind the scenes in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that there were times in my life where the things I have to deal with now could have leveled me. They could have made me,
Right.
um, I most likely would have reacted
Mm-hmm.
and proceeded to act in a certain way that was not
Mm-hmm.
healthy.
Yeah.
And, we spent the last few days together at the meetup in Atlanta, and I was
Yeah.
able to really enjoy that thoroughly and really and truly, I wasn't acting like everything was okay. In my own self, everything was okay. And it doesn't matter what the circumstances or the situation is. I
Mm-hmm.
always know that the first thing I need to do is make sure I'm okay. And that's always by coming back to the present moment, because in the present
Okay.
moment, I am okay. And
Uh,
anything else is just an imagined story in the future until it happens.
I love that. And breath is so powerful. I think that's why I have such a connection to yoga,
Mhm.
because as an ADHD, addict, someone that has a hard time with, hyper focus or just a really, fast rabbit brain, when I'm forced to slow down. And the beauty for me of yoga is if I'm concentrating on holding a pose and then also concentrating on my breath, that leaves very little else for me to think about. And I had so many, have so many downloads and so many like beautiful moments. When I first started in yoga, I was the crazy lady in the back corner that was just like bawling in Shavasana.
Yes. I've had those moments myself because
Well,
it's
and
not
so
that
many of the
often that we sit and be quiet and just let
Mhm.
ourselves feel
Yeah.
until we
Yeah,
get
and
into
it's,
that practice.
and after like rinsing out things too, really always made such a big difference. Well, I'm so excited to have, this little bit of woo and self-care focus of, at this event because, um, I would say I do on average, 5 to 15 job search strategy calls weekly, right? Plus some of the office hours and the audio rooms that I do. And having niche down to work more with HR, recruitment, talent acquisition folks, I see this mental health issue of burnout, decision fatigue, out, get out, dog noises, zap my serenity big time. Um, so burnout, decision fatigue, I would say, um, unhealthy work-life balance, an inability to manage tough relationships at work, their families suffering. We all know logically we can't pour from an empty cup, but people are just stuck in this like trying to survive mode. And I'm interested to hear some of your guidance on when you're leading companies and leading teams and trying to fill 45 job orders. How do you take that moment to reset? Is that breath? Is that asking for help? What else would you suggest for folks that are dealing with this, because we're not talking about it enough?
Right. So for the 100 plus people that will be there will be 100 plus answers for that.
Okay, that's good.
Everything or everyone has their own idea and need for self-care, but the
Mhm.
ultimate self-care is getting quiet and still enough to know what it is that you want. So if
Yeah.
you see someone who is taking a deep breath, that might work for you, but you might need to go outside. And so
Mhm.
there
It's
is no
different.
right or wrong answer, but it is
Mhm.
about just getting quiet enough to check in with yourself and find out. And that was when I was saying I didn't know what self-care was. I had to Google it, and there were a million options, and it would say,
Mhm.
well, just do the things you like to do. And I would say, well, I have no idea what I like to do. I know what everybody else likes to do. And it would say, well, just spend
Yeah.
time with yourself. And I'd say, that's the last person I want to spend time with. I would avoid it at all costs. And so I
Mm.
started to make lists and just notice, like if I went for a walk downtown with my dog, I really enjoyed
Mhm.
that. So I would write a list on my phone and say, next time you're not feeling great, go for a walk downtown with the dog. And then the
Yeah.
list would grow longer and longer. And that is how the
Mm.
book came to be. It's a
Mhm.
series of a collection of questions to ask yourself, lists to keep for when you
Yeah.
have extra time, when you forget. Self-care isn't difficult, but it's hard to remember sometimes. And
Mhm.
so the workbook
Absolutely.
helps with that.
And I mean, and the workbook, like, I love that it's interactive from a learning perspective. And I've challenged a lot of my speakers to make sure that they have a interactive component of what they're sharing at Evolve, selfishly because I learn from doing. And two, I have attended way too many conferences where I've been talked at and given a QR code and maybe taken some notes, and then I get back to my office and I was like, really remember, I loved what Kathy said, but I don't know how to take any of that and implement it.
Mhm.
So I love that you're going to be pulling the audience.
Yeah.
And we've got some fun Kathy Love giveaways between books and your self care coloring book. I'd love to hear about how that came about. So wait, you did My Self Care Shit, and then you also created one for veterans. Tell me about
Right.
that before we
So
go into
that
the
actually,
coloring
when
book.
you said at the beginning of this call that this whole event wouldn't have happened or hadn't been an idea before the retreat, I can say the same thing about the coloring book and the military edition. So
Oh, wow.
when we were there, one of the Outlier Project members, Scott Heathman, came up to me and told me that he's been buying copies of the My Self Care Shit, the workbook, for his military leadership courses. And so
Mm,
I asked him to, and he graciously wrote a new foreword. So we put out
amazing.
a military edition with a new foreword, new quotes, um, and some really beautiful messages from some of the veterans that we've met, like Mace Curran, who was at the retreat with us.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Jason, Yarrow, tag Scott and Mace and let them know that we're hanging out in the comments. Scott Heathman is one of the most thoughtful people I've ever met. Just to give y'all perspective, he did come to Atlanta to attend our most recent Outlier event, and was also in town for a gala as well that unfortunately was canceled. Poor
also
Dan,
a Hawks game, which was
a
also
Hawks
canceled.
game. But I love that he made the best of it. And I show up to, this event. I haven't seen him since October. We definitely talk back and forth via text and DM. And he presents me with this cute little gift bag. And, I'm a gift giver. Y'all that are coming to Evolve are going to be like, Anna, why? What is in this swag bag? This is not a normal conference swag bag. Well, I'm not a normal host. So I love giving gifts, but receiving gifts like that unexpectedly, again, cheeks hurt, heart explode. I feel so loved. And it was a platypus leash for little Lily, for
That's
Lily.
that's right.
It
That
was
was
so
really,
thoughtful.
really sweet.
It
And
was.
to think of this, he's a retired Air Force colonel. To think of him prioritizing self-care and wanting to teach young military leaders self-care, it blew my
Mhm.
mind, honestly. It really did.
Yes. And man, I tell you what, there's something that is so special. And this is for all the men out there. There is something, and it's so important to uh be vulnerable about self-care and mental health, because I personally, my husband has been affected by suicide, his family more than once, and very much around the topic of inability to ask for help, uh, no tools to manage any shame and or addiction issues, and um, just devastating for families and organizations. So, um, how beautiful is that? Like, you created my self-care shit through your community, kind of inspired more of that. And that's the ripple effect, right? That we forget about is possible when we have courageous conversations, when we are ourselves, and none of that is possible unless we take care of ourselves. And so, I'm just so excited that we're going to be talking, about how we can take care of ourselves so that we can lead more efficiently, because um, it again has a ripple effect in a negative way if we don't prioritize it. And I think it comes down, I speaking from my lived experience, it's about radical honesty with self and then awareness. Am I starting to get burned out? Am I dehydrated? You know, is my am I spinning on an idea or obsessing about something? Okay, ding ding ding. This is the time, like you said, I need to go take a walk with Lily and kind of reset. So, I
Yeah,
don't
and I
know.
really I want to offer self-care practices that the people who come to the conference can start doing that day. That they can
Yes.
that they're free, they're accessible, they're easy. They might be hard to remember, but we have tricks for that.
Mhm.
That they're just it's not something that they need to learn, that it's just there for them.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just creating a container where people have a chance to take a breath, right? And reflect. And I love that you're providing, frameworks and resources and books that really can support people in taking those immediate actions, because again, kind of what I've tried to focus on with Evolve is I couldn't stand leaving these conferences where I'd spent a ton of money and traveled and, networked well, but I'm a good networker. Most people aren't. But I didn't have any actionable strategies. It was
Right.
like, high level, yeah, okay, I think I get it, but it's also in one ear and out the other. So we have a lot of speakers in a short amount of time with some very interactive components. But my goal is that, people will take it out of the conference and keep the conversation going, and create collaborations and new projects and things like that in service of amplifying the message of the importance of self-care, being a champion of mental health initiatives in the workplace. This year is going to be the year that I'm going to be on more stages talking about, recruitment to recovery, what it's like coming up in this people space, dealing with alcoholism and other addictions. I had a kid reach out not too long ago. I placed over a year ago, and he had to go to rehab. And he sent me a text and he was like, Anna, you placed me a year ago to here. And he's like, I need help. I need to go to rehab, but I don't know who to contact within the company.
Mm,
And this is a Fortune, a large Fortune 500 public company. And you would think that it's on SharePoint or
right.
the person received it in their onboarding. But recruiters have such influence in organizations, and they partner with HR so closely. Like, I just really want to amplify that message around, you know, does your company provide resources for this kind of support? And, can your associates actually find the information in order to get help? And, luckily I had the relationships in place to be able to make a, you know, an anonymous connection there. But my heart was breaking because I
Yeah.
know if that one person experienced that, it's got to be happening in all kinds of organizations. And, post pandemic with economic concerns, post election, like people are not okay, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And they're exhausted. Like you said at the beginning of this conversation, they're exhausted. And if you think about the first thing that you asked me about self-care is using your breath to stay present. When you can stay
mhm.
present and eliminate all of that, all of the stories about the future, it actually helps you not to be so exhausted because you're not living and reliving all of these scenarios before they've even happened or after
Yeah.
they've happened. There's a reason why we're so exhausted.
Absolutely. And I think that also comes back to like that awareness. There were little things that I picked up over my recovery journey where that helped me stay present. Like one was like imagine yourself in a hula hoop and just be right there. And
Mhm.
then my second mother from a Jewish mother, I'm Catholic, but this woman, Faye Wisegal, was in my program with me. And she said, Anna, go and paint your toenails purple. And I was like, okay. And she was like, anytime you're feeling squirrely, look down at your toes and think about something that you're grateful for, and then just do the next right thing. And so to this day, I still get my toes painted purple in honor of my second mom, Faye. She passed away from cancer a couple years ago, but
Aw,
serenity, or purple is a color of serenity. It's a grounding color to really keep us on our toes or in our
that's
bodies.
beautiful. That's a
Um,
beautiful reminder. That is self-care, setting up
and
those little
as
reminders.
simple as that worked beautifully for me because I lived in Florida at the time. So I was in flip flops a lot. And, especially in early recovery and early in my recruiting career when, you know, every deal defined me, and, I was fighting all the not enoughs, being able to just glance down and take a look at those cute, sparkly purple toes would
Yeah.
bring me back to center. So it's fascinating for sure. Thank you, Yarrow. She's putting up some purple hearts, and I'm so excited that Yarrow gets to come. It's so exciting. It's going to be a
That is
great time.
exciting. Yes. I love
And
yarrow.
everyone also, self-care is nourishing ourselves really well. I just solidified everything with my caterer. So for breakfast, we have eggs and bacon and sausage and fruit and muffins and croissants and yogurt cups and tea and coffee. And then for lunch, we have this like Greek kind of Mediterranean feel. So marinated chicken and salmon. I was a little nervous about salmon, but caterer, trust me that the room won't smell like fish. Um, Along with like hummus and pita, pulled pork and buns, and a Greek
Sounds
salad,
great.
baklava, and then there'll be cake. So very inclusive for all the different eating preferences, because I know being gluten free, should be dairy free, likely sugar free. That it's nice when I show up to somewhere and I'm like, oh, I can actually have a non-alcoholic sparkling water or
Yeah.
a salad without all the croutons in it, whatever it may be. So
Sounds
I'm
great.
excited. Um, so you have some other exciting things coming up in 2025. I'm not sure if you're ready to say that or share based on your success 11 years ago.
Yeah. I
It could be
haven't
starting with, stepping on stage at Evolve, but just wanted to open that door to celebrate you if you were up for sharing. If not, we can just tease it out a little bit
Yeah,
longer.
I've got some exciting news coming up. I will be sharing very soon some
Very
exciting
soon.
news.
Awesome. Awesome. Should we do some kind of giveaway today for our self care fans? I I need some help on how to decide on an Evolve ticket giveaway. So here's what I'm thinking. Well, you tell me what you're thinking we could do. I have a couple ideas. And anyone in the comments, if they have ideas on how we could structure a giveaway, I'm open. Let's see. What do you think, Kathy?
I can't see who's here. The only thing I can think of is maybe having people put in a number between 1 and 100. How many people are coming to the event? How many people?
Max I can fit is like 120, and we're probably close to 70 now. So how about this? So anyone who catches the live today, right now, or the replay, if they share the replay, just go down to LinkedIn and hit repost, but repost with thoughts. And they tag you and I with the hashtag Evolve Now, then they will be entered to win a free ticket to Evolve. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me. I can't wait to see who it is.
All right, so I'm going to put this in. Let me type that out now that I said it. Okay. To win a ticket, repost with thoughts this event now or as a replay, tag Kathy and Anna, and I'll announce the winner on Wednesday. I really need to tighten that up. Anything I'm forgetting?
Tomorrow is Wednesday. Yeah.
Wednesday. Wednesday, like all of us outliers. There we go. All right. So that's, not perfectly written. All right. To win a ticket, repost this with thoughts. Maybe your favorite self-care tip or what you learned today or what you're excited about with regards to Evolve. Tag Kathy and myself, and then I will announce the winner by end of day Eastern time on Wednesday. So I said this on my Instagram stories, but I have like 7 followers on my Instagram story. So, in the spirit of self-care and like being vulnerable, I want to say to, the LinkedIn community, thank you for showing up to my events in the past. If you've ever been inspired, loved on, supported by me in the past couple of years, if you could repay the favor and really help me amplify the message of Evolve and help me, sell some more tickets for this event, I would be so grateful. And as I say that, like, I literally have a sick feeling in my stomach. It is so, so difficult for me. But I know it's the right thing to do, and that now is the time to, ask my community for support and help, because I truly believe in what we are building with Evolve as an opportunity to really love on the TA and HR community, to, give them a moment to recharge, reconnect with themselves and their purpose, and reignite their passion for leading, because it has such an immense impact on the people that we get to interact with every single day. So,
and anyone who knows you, everyone who knows you, knows that you're not used to asking, that you're the one that is always giving.
Well, thank you. It's easier to take care of other people than ourselves,
Yes,
which is the exact reason why I created this. So I am 100% on this journey with my fellow TA and HR leaders, because I know that it's tough, and I'm living it day by day. Like I said, I vacillate between being like, I'm going to cancel it because I'm not at the numbers I want, and I'm just going to hide under the covers with Lily and cry. And then I'm like, heck no, I'm going to prove everyone wrong. And I'm going to reach out to every single person. I've ever interacted with. So if you've gotten a message from me in the last week and a half, I'm excited about reconnecting. So here's
Yeah.
how, folks can help. This is what's been working the easiest for me, where I've got the best response, is if you want to be a part of the Evolve, go to the LinkedIn, type in the keywords talent acquisition, human resources, recruiter, look at your first connections, and then filter by location, Georgia. See who you know and say, hey, my career BFF, Anna Morgan, is hosting this cool event. You should be there. Folks can get 75% or 75 off the original or registration cost if they use the coupon code Career BFF. And I just want to put it out there. If you're a job seeker in Atlanta, TA and HR, and may not be in the budget to attend, send me a DM. Let's have a conversation. I might have a little gift for you as well, because we've all been on the other side of the desk, and that in-person connection heals so many ouchies, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful, Anna. Can't wait.
Thank you. And thank you for being an awesome supporter. You were critical in introducing me to Lou from BrightPath, who is our kind of top dog wellness sponsor. So I'm excited for him to come to Atlanta and talk about his expertise with benefits and making it easier for HR folks to care for their employees. So thank you for that. And we're going to keep rallying up the outliers and get them in the door. So I'm just so appreciative of all you do, of the whole entire outlier community. And going to get Scott on here next week, hopefully, to talk more about, he's always good for, fireproofing your career.
Right. Because before the Outlier Project, but also in addition to the Outlier Project, that's what he does with Something New, is talent acquisition. And so that'll be
been working, with businesses, building businesses and startups for a long time. So awesome. G, thanks for stopping by. Jason, Yarrow, you guys are amazing. Thank you for being here. Jason, thanks again. For those of you that catch the replay, reshare this event with your thoughts, maybe your top self-care tip, what you took away from our conversation today. Tag Kathy and I, and you can win a free Evolve ticket. So any closing desires, thoughts, or any thoughts you want to leave us with, Kathy, as we
remind everyone to breathe. I would remind everybody to take 1 minute and just breathe.
Why don't you take us through like 2 or 3 rounds of a box breath?
Yeah.
Are you up for that? Because I could certainly use that. I'm going to put my feet flat on the floor.
You can put your feet flat on the floor. You can close your eyes if you want to, or you can leave them open. And instead of box breathing, I'd like to just do a simple in and out at your own pace, whatever that is for you. But we're going to breathe in through our nose and out through our nose. And the closer you can get the inhalation and the exhalation to be at the same pace, the better. But there's no pressure. There's no right or wrong. There's nothing. So we'll just take a deep breath to start. And then just at your own pace, just breathe in and out through your nose. And I will set a little timer for us, and I'll let you know when it's over.
All right. Breathe with us.
And just breathe in through our nose and out through our nose. And as you're breathing, you can just notice your body. Notice anything that you're feeling in your body. And as you breathe, you can notice if you let go of any feelings that are in your body. Just very simple. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. There's a reason for that we'll talk about another time, but it is important to just use your nose to breathe.
I was wondering that, so you'll have to teach us that. I understand from the Ujjayi place, but there's a part of me that just wants to go.
Yeah.
I know that's more like the fire breath, but I'm too jazzed up. Jazz hands. Where's Courtney?
Courtney. So yeah, when we breathe in and out.
Too.
What's that?
Courtney's, I think, going to be in town too.
Yes. When we breathe in and out through our nose, it is a signal to our body that we are not in a state of threat and we do not need to be in our fight or flight mode. So it just instantly lets our body know, our brain and our body know that we are safe, and it allows us to relax.
Amazing. Huh, I needed that. Well, I wish I could reach through the screen and give you a hug, but I'm going to get to hug you in a short 2 weeks. And hopefully, a full house of 120 other awesome HR and TA leaders. Thank you for coming on live to amplify this message. I love you so much. And thank you for being a part of this. And I look forward to, celebrating together. So come celebrate.
Me too. I'm honored. I'm excited. Can't wait.
All right. Everybody, we'll be back tomorrow with G. Go to my profile and you'll see all the events listed there. There's a bunch more coming next week. So make sure you hit the bell, subscribe, and we'll see you all soon.